It is the Sporting Tribune today, and we're covering American football like we just did with USC and the Pac-12 championship game. But now we need to talk about the world's game. And giving us coverage here at the Sporting Tribune is the one and only Chandrima Chatterjee. Did I pronounce the name right, first and foremost?
You were so close.
No, please tell the people. Please tell the people.
The people, Chandrima, you can call me Chandrima. Chatterjee.
Chatterjee. I'm gonna get it. Okay. Well, look, the purpose of this, this is the second episode, and whenever anybody's coming out with good content for the Sporting Tribune, well, I mean, everybody is, but I have to go through everything and pick people. And we can all talk about sports and stuff, but I also I think this is a perfect platform to get to know people. So we're gonna do like a quick speed round to kind of get a gauge of who you are as a person outside of sports. So are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right, let's do this. Do you find mozzarella sticks and potato skins are acceptable appetizer choices?
Absolutely.
Which one do you like more?
Oh my God. I'd say mozzarella sticks.
Are you like marinara dip, or you can just take
marinara dip? I actually just had it last night. I got really stressed out. So actually the USA, I was still recovering from the USA Iran game.
No, of course. Well, look, I like to hear that. What is your favorite show of 2022?
Oh, shoot. Oh my God. This is a tough one.
I know. A lot of quality this year.
Because I want to take, I feel nerdy. I feel really nerdy. It's definitely still Stranger Things.
For real.
I know. It's so nerdy.
I actually watched that show for the first time this year.
Okay. Did you the whole?
No, just 2 episodes, but Netflix, thank you so much for hiring me to host Stranger Things Day in Las Vegas. It is the best show of all time. So thank you, Netflix. I appreciate you. One of the best shows ever. So I agree with you based on my 2 episodes that I've seen.
Wow.
What is your favorite sports memory ever?
Sports memory ever. Oh my God, this is tough. Of a game that I was actually at, or ever?
No, just it doesn't matter if you were there watching on TV, heard about it.
Oh my God, this is really tough. This is a really tough one. So I'm all spread out though. So my favorite, God, the most memorable, I would say, oh my God, I feel like everyone's gonna hate me now, is when Philadelphia won the World Series. I know.
We are a West Coast sporting
I'm a Dodgers
platform.
fan, and now, but yeah, it was just because it meant so much to that city, and the whole place erupted, and I don't think I've ever been happier, honestly. It's just Philly has some bad luck with regards to sports, as evidenced this year specifically. Yeah. And I just, the fans are always talked about in a certain negative light.
Especially from Santa Claus. Happy holidays, everybody.
And, I'm not from Philly, but I lived there a long time. And so it was nice to see. It was nice to see the celebration. So I'm sorry. Yeah, that's really, I can't believe I just said that.
Hey, it is what it is. What's the last meal you got from DoorDash or Uber Eats or Postmates, whatever?
Oh, it was last night though. It was the pizza.
And the cheese sticks.
And mozzarella, and not mozzarella sticks. I'm sorry. It was like the bread sticks, the
breadsticks, just extra bread with the pizza. Okay. Yeah. That leads perfectly to the next question. What's your secret pleasure?
So I just started watching The White Lotus, and
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't.
Oh, it's so trashy. I'm a little embarrassed. It's my coworkers were like, "Yeah, we're watching the show," and I'm like, "What is it? What is it?" And they're all talking about it, and I finally was like, "All right, I'll watch it." It's very interesting because it really goes into the dirty side of people, like what money does to us, what power does to us, corrupts, right? So
this really got deep. This is the deepest these questions have gotten. I like this. We're really getting to know you.
Really dives right in, sex, power, corruption, racism.
And we're not even
Autism.
talking about the World Cup yet. That's coming
No,
up in
but
just
it's a
a
good
few minutes.
segue.
Would you rather get covered in Nickelodeon slime or hang out with your fifth favorite actor or actress?
Fifth,
Yes, has to be fifth. You get to hang out with them for 2 hours or some Nickelodeon slime all over you.
I'm like a child of Nickelodeon, so I'm gonna go with the slime.
I love it. What's your favorite team of all time?
Holy
Any sport,
crap.
any era.
Oh, this is so tough. I wish you could just pick a sport. Well, so it's the Dodgers from 2020. I miss them.
Baseball really gets you in your emotions. This is what we know.
It's the Dodgers. It really, yeah, it does. Actually, you're right. It's, yeah, soccer is my sport, but baseball has my something. I don't know. Memories hard.
Well, let's get into the soccer, shall we? The World Cup 2022 going on. It's been going on for what, like a week or two?
Mhm.
So far, from a big picture standpoint, like what's really stuck out to you and really like some of these storylines that you're invested in?
Wow. Well, this World Cup is interesting. You know, when Qatar was announced as the host nation, I know everybody was up in arms about it, right? And I think a part of me back then was like, it's not going to happen. Something's going to, it's going to get canceled.
Yeah,
Something bad's they're not going to build all those stadiums. Too many people are dying. I think we're all still like dealing with the shock that it's actually happening. It's actually happening. And there've been so many, like, I mean, obviously human rights violations throughout. I mean, so many aspects at this point. I can't list them all, but every day it feels like there's
right.
another story. And in a way, I think it's just reflective of what the world is experiencing right now. And so for someone like me, I really appreciate that. It's like a dose of reality. You can't avoid it, really. Like, we tend to avoid so many difficult topics. And like I wrote, we like to keep sports, kind of like on this cute little entertainment side, but I mean, it's not always
It's
like
life, so it's unavoidable. So
yeah, it really is. And it's very reflective of what's going on, and it's global, which makes it even more so. So yeah, I mean, what's captured me is like, wow, so many different controversies, and so it just brings out the truth of people, like what we really think about the bigger issues in life.
and I mean, it kind of was at the forefront of the world and obviously USA's mind earlier this week. So this is releasing on Friday, a day away from USA taking on the Netherlands in the knockout stage. But to get there, USA had to face Iran. Obviously, a very important game from a soccer standpoint for the US of trying to get out of the group stage. But then real life and everything going on with Iran. And there was so much emotion in that game, the final few moments for the U.S. holding on to the lead, obviously the reality after the game with Iran and all the tears. And it was so dope to see some of the U.S. players giving them hugs and just having that bonding experience of now reality setting into, we can't do this and escape. We have to wait another 4 years to get
Yeah,
away from all this and represent what's going on. Like,
exactly.
what were your emotions watching everything play out?
Wow. I mean, it was powerful. I will tell you a story. Hopefully it doesn't get me in trouble, but where I am, where I work during my day job, there's a large Iranian population here, excuse me. And from the beginning of this tournament, they boycotted the entire tournament. And I understand that. I respect that. But I did keep saying, but don't you feel for the players? Like, don't you imagine what they're going through? And I mean, can you imagine what they're going through? It's like they're in this, stuck between a rock and a hard place situation.
Yeah.
And honestly, they were all like, no, because people are dying. And we don't care. Like, we honestly don't care because more people are dying. and that's all that they could see. But the thing is here, the match started, and I turned and I realized they were watching. And I was like, so in the end, the World Cup is the World Cup. Like, you're gonna have to look. Like, we can't, it's the same, it's like the other side of the coin, right? Like, we can't ignore the reality of what's going on around it, but we also can't ignore what's going on inside of it. So I kind of was like, this is surreal. Like, it really is something that brings people together, as well as, showcases our differences. So for me, that was like, it encompasses kind of everything I felt. And they weren't necessarily rooting for Iran in that moment. They weren't. I think you saw afterwards all the celebrations in the streets of Tehran because the US won. That's pretty much reflective of what they were feeling here too. And it's so powerful for me. I think it's a huge political statement, and I love it when sports can do that.
Yeah, 100%. And actually, I was gonna wait to ask you this a little bit later, but I'll ask you now. The thing that's been fascinating to me is obviously the World Cup has the world in it, which means media from all over the world is coming and answering questions and asking questions rather. And I can't even remember the certain player, but I know a couple of days ago, one of the dudes he actually didn't even ask a question. He just made a declarative statement to one of the players and been like, "Hey, you've gotten much bigger." And he's like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "Hey, you've gotten much bigger, right? What's going on?" But then even some of the Iran media with Tyler Adams, the captain of the US team, I thought he handled it super well because number one, they were asking him about the US naval ships and why that hasn't moved. And also, like
Tyler Adams, yeah, the race question.
yeah, and then the race
Lives Matter.
question. And I thought he handled it as best you could in that situation, especially, for an athlete not expecting any of that. For you, like, can you tell me more about Tyler Adams? Because I like the kid now, 23 years old. I know he's the captain. But like, he's the future, right? Or is he not?
No, he is the future. He's absolutely the future. And he is like a super youthful captain. I don't think that he's already captained the US several times, actually. So it wasn't that unexpected. I know that a lot of people were thinking Pulisic would be the captain. He's Captain America. But
Yeah.
but I actually think Tyler Adams, he does a really wonderful job on the field, I think, supporting his teammates and really honestly taking one for the team every chance he can get. He doesn't run out of steam. And I think they made a great choice in him. He answered it himself, like when asked about his experiences, growing up here, throughout everything that goes on in this country, the institutional racism, every discrimination you can imagine, we have it too. And I think what he showed in responding to that reporter was maturity, because all you can do when you're faced with these questions is answer from a personal perspective. And that's exactly what he did. He was raised in a different, he wasn't raised in one particular culture or race. So
Yeah.
he's able to kind of transgress through different cultures. And I can relate to that. I think a lot of Americans can relate to that. That is America, really. So he kind of he hit the nail on the head, right? Like he said that as long as there's progress, that's all that matters. And I think that's what we all feel. So that the way he answered that question is kind of the way he also works on the pitch. And I think that's kind of the beauty.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm very excited for this next question because we've been talking about some serious stuff, but now I get to be a sports radio host. And pardon my Mexican side of my family. I love you guys, all of you.
Sorry.
I'm a huge basketball guy. So one of the things I like to say or make fun of is Chris Paul, because he doesn't always, he hasn't won a ring yet. All right. So I call him a fraud. So in that same sense, I have to ask you, when it comes to Mexico, what's going on? Are they the Chris Paul of international soccer?
No, I actually feel like that was like one of the worst things that happened today. Oh my God. It's, I mean, they haven't not advanced to the next stage since 1990 when they were obviously banned. So this was huge. Like, this is, I don't
It's
know.
very Chris Paulish. It's looking very Chris Paul out there. Shout out to State Farm or Allstate, whichever.
I mean, I'm gonna sound crazy. Like, I mean, I do cover LAFC and LA Galaxy, so I'm kind of like, well, why didn't our guys play? You know, I mean, why not? Like, I realized it was partly their decision, but you know, maybe there could have been some changes made. Um, so that
Well, I
lineup.
do. This is coming out on Friday as we are recording. I do think I heard the ESPN alert that the head coach, are they called head coaches?
Oh yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, my guy, he's out of here.
He was your guy?
No, that's
He's the worst
not a
coach
good
in
guy.
Mexico's history, I believe.
No, he's one of the worst. So this guy, excuse me, rather, I'll edit that in. He's out of here. I do have to ask you, this is kind of a personal question, because I'm Puerto Rican and I'm Costa Ricense, and my dad loves soccer. Like, this is his life. He's woke up early for all these games, but then doesn't watch them because he can't, but he'll just be up pacing. I haven't watched a minute of the World Cup when it comes to Costa Rica. Am I a bad Costa Rican?
No, it's okay. These times are horrible, especially on the West Coast, right? I mean, I haven't slept. My mom is yelling at me every day.
She's worried.
Yeah, she's worried. Like, how many days are you gonna
Mija, okay, what's going on?
sleeping 3 hours? Like, I don't, you know, as long as I have to, Mom.
Well, not only that, but all these other
Costa
sports
Rica,
too.
yeah, right. You have a lot on your plate. But you did miss Costa Rica beating Japan, right?
Yes, I did.
That was
But then they got they got their ass beat 7-0. So I'm like, this is it. This is it. And then they come and win. And I'm like, hold on. Now we're gonna play Germany.
That's kind of been going on, right? That's like that's another story about this cup that I think is so compelling. We talk a lot about the upsets, right? But I see it kind of like it's parity and globalization and the flow of money. You know, Saudi Arabia has the money to develop players, to develop teams, to bring players, to keep them. That's why, you know, Japan is actually a great team. Having beat Germany, who, you know, are, you know, not the same Germany that we know that beat Brazil before.
I'll take that. Costa Rica needs that.
But yeah, no, but really the game is really evolving, and I used to be kind of a purist of the sport, an elitist. I would only watch the English Premier League. That's how I kind of started, and then, you know, I was forced to cover MLS.
Oh, snap. See, I didn't know that there's like this attitude. Like, okay.
No, there's some of us. So yeah, I mean, because when I was growing up, that was not available to me, really. I didn't grow up in LA. I didn't have the Galaxy winning cup after cup. So yeah, it was the Galaxy are my team, but it was almost by default because that was all I could witness, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, the quality of soccer in this country has just evolved so much. I mean, and now we're beginning to see players actually, you know, not like retire in MLS. They're actually coming here to play. And I think that's beautiful. And I think that's also happening, like it's happening throughout the world. We're just not aware of it because we're not there, you know? So yeah, all these upsets are pretty incredible. Tunisia today with France. I mean, yeah, France are still number one in their group, but that's pretty incredible. And you obviously heard about Argentina losing, right?
Yes.
That was huge. It's kind of a wake-up call, like, hey, everybody, you know, the world is coming alive, and the haves and the have-nots, or there's kind of this, like, you know, equilibrium coming.
And that kind of leads me to the next question. Has that been your overarching, and even as we go further along in the World Cup, is that kind of the storyline that is grabbing your attention the most? Is that all these games are up for grabs, or is there one in particular that's really going to get your attention the rest of the way?
I think the group stage was like that. I do not believe that the rest of this tournament will be like that. I think if the USA beats the Netherlands, they're going to call it an upset. I actually think we can do it. if you know, a
Okay.
certain
Okay.
coach. I think we can do it. I don't think we're not going to score a lot of goals, right? But we can definitely hold them off, which you saw, which you've seen actually. It's just more, our issue is finishing and whether Pulisic is coming back.
Yes, Captain America, we need you. Before we go, I do want you to plug all your work, where they can find your work, and just what to expect content-wise coming here, as the World Cup comes to a close. Because I'm pretty sure we're gonna need you back before the final. I need to introduce you properly and pronounce your name correctly. So I'm gonna have you do it again one more time. But yes,
Well,
give out your plugs.
my plug. Well, first of all, I'm going to plug Messi because I am rooting for the USA. But as you know, if we actually make it through the Netherlands, we face Argentina next. And I'm going to be very conflicted because I know where I was sitting, actually, like the exact moment where Messi said he was retiring, in 2016.
Is Argentina,
Lost.
sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Is Argentina like the Yankees of like the World Cup? Because I'm gonna be
No,
honest
that's
with
like
you.
Brazil.
Well, yeah, but like all I know is that Latin Twitter, quote unquote, Latino Twitter's going crazy with jokes at Argentina, and Argentina is not taking any of it. They're going back and forth. So it's very messy. Not to be, no pun intended, but it really
Messi is very
is.
messy.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, please, with the plugs and everything coming.
He's not, but they haven't won yet,
Yeah.
They haven't won. So it's kind of, and he hasn't won and they haven't won. And so I'm just conflicted because I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for him, really, because I do believe that every sport needs a LeBron, right? Every sport needs and this is a global sport, right? That needs a Messi. I'm actually a Real Madrid fan, and so I'm saying this like from the bottom of my soccer heart. Like, we need him to win because as much as I love equity and parity and stuff,
Yeah.
I still think what really catches people's eyes and their hearts is the hero. So we need that. We need him. So yeah, I'm plugging myself here. I'm not really good at that.
Would you let people know where they can find you on social media? Are you working on
Sure.
any stories for the site? Any of that? This is your moment, your time.
Cool. Well, I'm Chandrima, so you can find me at Chandrima Tweets. I will be tweeting from there as much as I can. And the Sporting Tribune is doing a great job sharing the stories. So I'm actually really happy. So yeah, I'll be around.
Good.
I'll be covering LA again.
Hopefully you could, save some time for us. We appreciate you giving us some soccer talk, kind of smarting me up because I really don't know what I'm watching out there, but I am going to be involved. I'm going to watch more. So next time we get on here.
Yeah, I mean, make sure the knockout stage, the game times are a little bit different. So I think you're going to be able to catch more of it. Don't miss it. Because we're hosting the next one. We're co-hosting the next one, excuse me.
With Canada, who can't even make the cup. Like, guys, you replace the glass with grass, and now you guys can't play, or the ice, excuse me. Whatever. I got more time.
They were in this one. They just got eliminated,
Oh, they made it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, so I don't acknowledge unless you're in the 16 because
USA. Oops. It's okay. Of the 3 co-hosts of the 2026 World Cup, only one is currently still in the tournament. Hello, USA. So now I love it. I think I'm gonna love watching Mexico fans join the USA wagon. My friends are already asking me for jerseys and shirts, so I love that.
This is a perfect spicy way to end it right there. Let's go.